Hello, happy Wednesday, and welcome to Q&A Wednesday, where we pose a question of the month. And the question today and for this month is, what is the difference between a vision and a dream? So we are going to jump right in for the sake of time, because tonight is Showcase Your Talent Show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. So definitely check it out, all right? The Zoom information is in our last showcase post. So if you click on that, you will see the details of tonight. But a few more announcements before we get into our question of the month. We have Meeting of the Minds Mondays, one Monday a month, where we pose a topic, anything from business itself and everywhere in between. If you have any topics that you would like us to have on Monday, or if you would like to host Meeting of the Minds Monday, definitely connect with us so that we can add you and a topic on the queue, because we are here to serve you. Q&A Wednesdays is one Wednesday a month where we pose a question to kind of gauge you a little bit better, get to know you a little bit more. If you have a question that you would like to ask us, that is the time to do so. You can submit your questions ahead of time, either via email or DM, or you can ask them during a live, either in the comment or question box, and we'd love to delve into it then. If you email us or send it to us ahead of time, that will be the first thing that we address before we get into anything else. If you would like to pose the question of the month or host Q&A Wednesday, definitely connect with us. Also, we have Freestyle Fridays. Open mics is every Friday. We have an event. Second Fridays is our battle art segment, where artists go up and battle it out against each other. The viewers vote, and whoever has the most votes wins and picks the following month's theme. So definitely check that out. We have Third Fridays is our Art of War Art Awareness fundraiser, where we raise awareness for the beauty, necessity, and uniqueness of art, as well as raise funds to come to a place near you, to go from virtual to in-person concerts. You know, it's a blessing to be able to come together from multiple places online, but it's an even better experience when you get to be around people of like minds and who might have artistic all up in their blood and their veins, but being able to see that up close and personal is definitely a different experience. So that is our goal. You don't have to wait for Third Fridays to donate. You could donate at any time via our website, the link in our bio, DM or email us, and many other ways. We have our feature segment, Fourth Fridays, where we spotlight an entrepreneur doing their thing in the community. That will be back next month, y'all, so stay tuned for that. We have merch, we have books, we have promo options, voiceover options, we have our art and business seminar from we've had a few. So if you go on our YouTube channel, you can definitely check that out. If you're interested in being a part of one of our future sessions, definitely connect with us on that. We have our podcast, Intellect, a Place for Entrepreneurs, in season 3. If you are interested in being a feature, definitely connect with us so that we can add you on that list as well. We have member fees, but if you want to stay up to date on all things Intellect, definitely subscribe to our email list. It is free $99, as well as our YouTube channel. All right, so we're going to jump right into this. So what is the difference between a vision and a dream? What is the difference, right? So we are going to kind of touch on that today. We're going to look at a few videos, kind of discuss it, and keep it going from there. I'm going to share this out to a few people, and we're going to keep it moving. All right. Okay, so for those who may not know, our first speaker is Evan Carmichael, and he is somebody who has interviewed and does a lot of content on successful people and how to really just build yourself up to a place where you can be the best that you can be. right? And so he is going to be our first speaker for today, and he is going to be focused on what is the difference between goals and vision. So check him out.
What's the difference between goals and vision? So I got a great question from my newsletter viewers, readers, love you guys. Nitesh, who wrote in to say, Dear Evan, thank you once again for sharing your thoughts and examples. I'm happy to learn it. I have a question for you. I'd like to know your views on it because in this topic, I find my mind wandering. But lately, I'm trying my best to get focused. What is goals and vision? What does it mean to you? What are the differences between them? Why is it so important to write down your goals? I'm looking forward to your views on it. I really want to learn on this topic. I want to have a vision and set goals. Thank you, Nitesh. So it's important as an entrepreneur to have both vision and goals. And here's what the difference is. Your vision is the better world that you see, the world that you want to help create. So for me, I might say, I envision a world where people learn to follow their passion, where growing up in school, when your parents, in your community, you learn that following your passion is important. Where do we learn that? We don't learn that anywhere. You don't learn that in school. We learn about, math and history and all that is important and give us the tools to succeed in the job. But where do you ever learn that, hey, following your passion is important? I envision a world, and I'm trying to help create that world where that is a reality. I envision a world where people believe in themselves, where they have the self-confidence to launch their own things, to know that it's going to work, to not listen to the little man in their lives who tell them that it's not going to happen. I envision a world where there's no little man, right? Where this is something that people strive to do, that it's just natural and normal and commonplace that you believe in yourself and you are following your passion. This is ingrained into me now. And I try to help other people see that. I envision a world where everybody is on the same page. That's a vision, right? What better world do you want to create? Okay, it's a big picture thing. Your goals are more tangible. They're quantifiable. They're measurable. They're steps to help you accomplish your vision. That dreamy world that I just talked about, how do I make that happen? What are some measurable goals that I can go towards? So for example, if my vision was, I want everybody in North America to grow up learning how to believe in themselves and to follow their passion. Okay? I think that math and history are important subjects, and following your passion is just as important, and giving people the skills and tool sets to do it. So that's the vision I'm creating. A goal might be that every high school in North America has a class dedicated to teaching people the importance of how to find your passion and the steps on how to do it, right? So that's a goal. It's quantifiable, it's measurable, and if I achieve that, then you can go to a bigger goal, and a bigger goal, and a bigger goal. And all these goals that you track and measure build up to help you create your bigger vision, this huge vision of the world that you want to change. Okay, so that's the difference. Again, vision, big picture. Almost intangible. It's something that makes you feel something, right? It's a better place for the world that you may never even accomplish in your lifetime. Goals, quantifiable, smaller, measurable, and stepping stones to get to your vision. You start off with a smaller goal and build up until you get to your bigger goal, bigger goal, bigger goal, as you build towards that better world and creating the vision, making it reality. Thanks for the great question. Believe. For those of you watching, I'd love to hear what your goals are, what your visions are. Leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you think the differences are. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you have a question for me, you can leave it below too. I'll make a video response. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to do more for you. And click on my face to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
All right. That was Evan Carmichael, y'all. Short and sweet, right? So he broke down the difference between goal and vision. And he said a vision is something that you see the world as, a better world that you see, right? The bigger picture, long story short. Seeing the bigger picture, right? And goals or dreams, because those words interchange, are attainable, quantifiable, something that you can measure, steps to take to make the vision happen, right? Taking those small steps and putting them into an achievable process in order to see your vision happen, right? So just a quick little definition, and I think he pretty much sums it up between the differences, right? So having a vision is having like, this is what I want to happen overall. This is what I want to, how you doing? This is what I want to accomplish. This is my overall dream. This is my overall goal. And then a goal or a dream is seeing a little portion of that bigger picture, right? So we are going to get into a little more with the distinctions with Ryan, and he is going to talk about the differences as well between a dream versus a vision. So we're going to get into it just a little bit more, all right? Just a little bit. So again, the question that's posed is, what is the difference between a vision and a dream?
What's the difference between goals and...
What's the difference or the role of dreams and a vision? Well, the difference is huge, and I'm going to tell you why and how in this video. Welcome to another episode of Holistic Lifestyle Coaching with Ryan David. I'm Ryan David. And today's episode is actually the first video in a series of videos I'm going to be doing weekly called Distinctions. This is a series that I've wanted to do for some time now because in my studies, in my research, and my teachings, I've come across certain key terms and concepts that are closely associated or maybe similar or mistaken for one another. And I thought some of these terms are very useful and some of them are just generally used. It'd be nice if I could differentiate and distinguish between the ones that are generally used, misused, and the ones that are very powerful and have a specific meaning to them to help empower people and understand how to use them and apply them to their lives to get better results. My goal is to, as best I can, in as short a time as possible, really help you understand the specific differences between key terms and which terms will help you live with a little more intention, because you're going to see that's a running theme, not just on my channel, but in these episodes specifically, intention and applying terms and concepts to your life that will help you live a life of intention and live with a little bit more meaning and do what you do on purpose and intentionally. Just some examples of distinctions to come, things like the difference between love and lust, or listening and hearing, or partying and celebrating. Those are just a few previews or samples of some of the words I'll be looking at. Some of them are a little bit more complex, but some of them are just everyday terms. And there are some specific differences between these terms and how we use them. But some of them you may be wondering over some time, what's the difference between love and lust? So some of the terms that I cover and I go over and I really look at and differentiate between, you may have heard of before, but I look to offer you a little bit more clarification and a little bit, maybe a different way of looking at something so that you can apply that term or that concept to your life and benefit from it accordingly. So I'll offer my insights as to what the differences are between those two terms, hence the name distinctions. But today's distinction is actually a distinction that I made about 2 years ago, I think it was. I visited Washington, D.C., and I shot a video. It was freezing cold on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And my intention that day was to shoot that video and distinguish between the idea and the concept and the term dreams and vision. And obviously I chose that day because of the famous quote of "I have a dream." And that's what I elaborated on. So in that video, I'll link it above and I'll link it at the end of this video. You can check that out. In that video, I talk broadly about the differences between the idea of a vision and the idea of a dream. Today, I just want to give you some really specific differences and really just the succinct opportunity for you to understand and think about these two terms differently and how they apply to your life so you can really understand them moving forward and benefit from them accordingly. So let's get into it. Once again, Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I have a dream." And that's very catchy in the field of motivation and inspiration. You hear the word dream all the time. Chase your dreams. If you dream it, you can achieve it. The word dream is thrown around a lot, but I have an issue with the word dream. And my issue is that dreams are not intentional. Dreams just happen. They're just kind of abstract. You're not in control of your dreams. And so going back to Martin Luther King, he used the words, I have a dream, but he had a vision. If you notice in the speech, after he says the words, I have a dream, he went on to describe specifically what his vision is for the future. And so he said, I have a dream, but he was using that word kind of as a synonym for vision. And now you might be thinking, so they're kind of the same thing. They're interchangeable. It's a synonym, but it's not. And this is the reason why. Again, dreams are not intentional. They happen by default. You're not actively involved in your dreams. So from a psychological standpoint, you play no role in creating your dreams. Dreams are for sleep. And so if you try to substitute the word dreams for what you're really looking for and trying to achieve, which is a vision, you miss that strong, important component, which is the active part of it. And that's the difference, the major difference between dreams and a vision. A dream is just an idea, something that's maybe thought up or pops into your mind, very abstract. And things may start with a dream, but what you want to look to do is turn that dream into a vision. A vision is specific. You play an active role as far as a vision is concerned. You're involved. You construct your vision. You use your imagination to create what it is that you want to achieve. That's creating a vision, as opposed to just thinking about or having some dream out there. It's a little bit more far-fetched and off in the distance or not real tangible. So the biggest difference between a dream and a vision has to do with our ability to be involved and dictate what happens and what takes place with one as opposed to the other. So understand the difference between something you consciously create with your imagination, which is a vision, and something that subconsciously happens that you're not a part of and just happens by default, which are your dreams. Don't mistake the two. And I understand you may use the word dreams when you're talking about your vision, but get into the habit of identifying what your vision is and then talking about your vision very specifically, intentionally, and strategically. So it may start as a dream. Sometimes you just get ideas or something comes to you, or you daydream up something and you fantasize about it, or whatever the case may be. It starts as a dream, but what you want to try to do is take that dream or that idea and then work down from there, the big dream, the big idea, and turn that into really specifically understand what you want out of that dream. Identify the specifics. Turn that dream into a vision by putting some specifics in there as far as what you want to do and where you're going for your future. So transform your dreams into a vision, because once you do that, now with your vision, you can set goals to make your vision come true, to really realize your vision. So you can't really, dream is so abstract. You have goals to get to a dream. You're missing a link there. So go from a dream to a vision. From the vision, you create the goals to accomplish that vision, to get that vision realized. And in terms of goals, how do you accomplish goals to then be able to realize your vision? Well, you have strategies to accomplish each one of your goals. And that actually brings me to my profession and what I do as a coach. One of the main things that qualified coaches do is they help individuals come up with strategies that are specific and unique to the individual's needs to help them accomplish their goals that are in line with trying to accomplish or achieve a certain vision. And that can be for an individual or a business. But you see how it works backwards, from the dream to the vision to the goals to the strategies and the steps to really execute on a daily basis to really help that bigger vision come true. So it may start as a dream, but understand what you're working on and working towards should be a vision that you've imagined and you've specifically kind of idealized in your head. And I've used the word specific a few times now, and that is very critical. That's key. Your vision needs to be specific. It needs to be very, very specific as to what exactly and where you want to go and what you want to do. But get away from throwing the word dream around, because it really doesn't have any handles, doesn't have any legs to it oftentimes. And you'll hear it very often, and we know what they're talking about. But as a personal habit, you can start looking at the word vision as something that has meaning, it's intentional, and it really will help you explore and ask yourself, what's my vision? What's my vision for my future? What's my vision for my family? What's my vision for my health? What's my vision for whatever the case is? And a specific image should pop up. And if you don't have one popping up, you may need to start looking into that area and coming up with what exactly you want to see, because one of my favorite quotes is, you'll never get what you want until you know what you want. So visualize and imagine, think about what you want specifically, and then you can start working on setting some goals to get there. And then when you have those goals, you start looking at some strategies on how to accomplish those goals to then get to your vision. So in summary, be mindful about the use of these words. If we're talking about a dream, you had a bad dream, or you dreamed something that was, fun or a fantasy, sure, that's when you use that term dream. But when we're talking about achievements, success, accomplishments, stop chasing your dreams and start pursuing your vision. That's my advice to you, and it has to do with the distinction that I made today. I hope this distinction gave you some clarification as to why it's important for you to pursue a certain vision as opposed to chase random dreams. Look out for future episodes of Distinctions that I'll be dropping weekly, and also other content that obviously is available will be coming out on my channel as well. The thumbs up button lets me know you like this content. The subscribe button is so we can stay connected, and I'll look for your feedback in the comments below. Until the next episode, take care.
All right, y'all. That was Ryan David, and he was talking about the differences, the distinctions. He kind of went into a little bit more detail than Evan did and in the first video that we had, right? So he pretty much agrees with Evan, but breaks it down a little bit more. So he focused on how he did a more extensive video during Martin Luther King Day, and how, even though he said, I have a dream, he went into his vision, right? So what he talked about was that a dream is catchy because it's more for motivation, like follow your dreams, but they are not intentional. They happen by default. And the difference between a dream and a vision is that the vision has an active part to it. So a dream is just an idea that might pop in your mind, but the vision it plays an active role, and you got to use your imagination and put some things together, have strategic skills and things set in place so that you can make it happen, right? So identify the specifics of that specific dream, that specific idea, and make it so that it formulates into what you want to fulfill your vision with, right? So aligning your dreams in order to fulfill your vision is the purpose, and the vision is the achievement, the accomplishments, the end goal, right? The purpose of it all, the bigger picture. As I said earlier, the dream is just a minute picture in a bigger picture, and the vision is the bigger picture. So when we focus on that, we focus on how we can become better, right? So we are going to move right along to Raul, who focuses on the difference between a dream and a vision. Now, it's good to have dialogue with this. It's good to see the mindsets of other people and how they can differentiate between topics, what they think about it, and being able to have like a think tank with multiple people with different personalities, different mindsets, and different things of that nature. We are able to come together and see things from a different perspective. So having these Q&As is the reason for this, and being able to talk about dreams and visions. Listen, we are all artists here. We are all professionals here. We have businesses. We have products. We have services. We have things that we can offer other people. But the question is, before you actually manifested whatever you're working on, whether it's your dream job or dream career, or doing for self, or having a product, having a service, having that business, it started off as an idea. It started off as a dream, right? And then you manifested it by making strategic goals in order to make that happen, in order for your vision to come to pass. Sometimes we see little bits at a time over the years, and it's like, okay, I can do this, I can add that, I can go here, I can do that, and then it comes together, right? So I want you all to think about that during this time when we are talking about the differences between visions and dreams. So you can add in the comments, you can share how you feel what the difference is between the two. All right, and so like I said, we're gonna move on to Raul. And this one is a quick video, y'all. So
and the fourth is recommit to your vision. That's the main thing that you need to do in halftime. Now it's time for you to reset your vision. Maybe what you wanted wasn't exactly what you needed. Just like I shared with you before my story, buying this property. That I had the vision, but at the end of the day, I started to listen to my voice saying, that voice inside me saying, no, right now, it's not the right time. And now you have to focus on the big vision. Because people quit their dreams because they never committed to a vision. Anybody can have a dream. A dream is easy. But a vision is different. A vision is something that you could actually taste it. A vision is something that you could see it. A vision is something that you could actually fight for. Recommit to your vision. Ask yourself, why do I do the things that I do, and recommit to it. And one way to recommit to your vision is to share your vision with other people. Share your vision with your family. Share your vision with your clients. Share your vision with your employees. The more people you share your vision with, they're going to hold you accountable. Because now you have leverage. Now you start seeing that, man, if I talk about it, I need to be about it. When you have a vision that's clear, you're going to take action. Clarity is power. For the next 100 days, disrupt the foundation. And the last 100 days of the year, stabilize and innovate. Make sure that you build a strong foundation. You disrupt your business, you disrupt your marriage to make sure that you bring innovation and you stabilize it. We will procrastinate until we suffer the consequences. Most people don't have a strategy. Most people don't have a game plan because we constantly procrastinate. We want to put off things until tomorrow, one day, and the moment that you start focusing on one day, the one day never comes. One day never gets here. Why? Because you're not committed. You're not committed to the consequences.
all right, like I said, quick video. And again, that was Raul. And he's breaking down the difference between a vision and a dream. And one thing that stuck out, he talked about how sometimes what you want may not be what you need, and having to revisit those goals and kind of restructure what it is that you want. What is your why? What do you actually see for yourself and for your future? And kind of going back into that, right? He said to focus on the big vision. Some of us are so focused on the smaller vision, the smaller picture that we get, those ideas, those dreams, that we end up quitting on them and ultimately quitting on our vision. He said to share your vision out to as many people as you can, because the more that you share, the more people will hold you accountable for it. And as we discussed in a previous live, having an accountability partner is important. We all should have them because it helps us to stay focused on our goal, and it helps us to be conscious of what we said we we're going to do. And for somebody to be like, you said this, so you need to do this. And to hold us to that, right? Not just words, but actions behind those words and intentionality behind that, right? He said, disrupt the foundation and then innovate and stabilize. So in order to build a foundation, if you don't have one, that's a good place to start, because you're building something from nothing. But if you do have one that's not really a sturdy foundation, then you can revamp that and change that to become something better, something more sturdy, or something that has a stable ground, right? And then once you do that, then you can innovate, then you can stabilize and do the necessary nurturing that it takes in order for that to happen, in order for your vision to happen, and in order for that idea or that dream to start to become reality, to start to become realistic, right? To set those realistic, strategic goals in order to get to that bigger picture, to that bigger vision. All right, so we are going to move into our next video, where we are still on the topic, the difference between a dream and a vision. So, let's see. All right, so, and if y'all have any comments, any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section, or if you want to wait until the video is posted, that is fine too. You could put that in the comment section once it's over, because once this live is posted, the videos that were shared today will be added to that section, so you can go back and listen to it on your own. All right.
Hi guys. In this video I wanted to explain the difference between a dream and a vision. I had somebody ask me what they're like, and I'm going to try to describe it in this video to the best of my ability. Now, everybody is different, and in this video I'm going to explain what it's like for me, my own personal experience. When I have a dream, my dreams are always random and they never make any sense. It's like if you had a video and you took it into editing software and you just randomly went down the line and started chopping out major chunks of the video and then stitched what was left and put it together and let it run. It won't make any sense because it's jumping around, and 1 minute it's talking about something, the next minute it's talking about something else. The scenes can be distorted, and in my dreams it's always like there's a haze around the window of sight, almost like looking at something with glaucoma, like with an eye condition. It's always very strange and they don't make any sense. It bounces around. It has no rhyme to reason of why it's, showing me what it's showing me. It's just crazy and all over the place. So what I did is I took 3 clips and I stitched them together to show you right here in this video as an example of what a dream can be like. That is just a brief example of what a dream can be like. It makes no sense. Like I said, scenes can be distorted. It will be playing out one thing, and then all of a sudden at the drop of a hat, it skips to a different scene, and it's like, what's this all about? And nothing is related to each other. It's just random nonsense. That's what dreams are like for me. With a vision, it's different, because with a dream, it's like you don't go anywhere. It's just like you're in dream state, and these thoughts or ideas or whatever just come into your head, and it plays out in a dream, but it's coming to me. I don't have to go anywhere to have a dream. In a vision, I'm actually traveling. It's like I am being taken there. And the best way that I can describe it, only because I don't have ultra high definition equipment to show you guys the difference in clarity, but a vision is in ultra high definition. I mean, to give you an example, you've all experienced this when you go on YouTube. You can watch someone's channel and their video quality won't be that great. Maybe their video quality will be horrible. Maybe the audio will be horrible. And then you watch someone else's channel that's got like 1.5 million views, and their videos are gorgeous. They're ultra crystal clear. The audio is great. The music in the video is great. They're just very crystal clear, and you can see the difference between one type of video versus one that's done very well with high-end equipment. That's the difference between a dream and a vision. When I have my visions, that's what they're like. They're ultra high definition, and they don't skip around like a dream. They play out from beginning to end, and it does not skip. It takes me to the location, it shows me what it wants to show me, and then it brings me back. And it's given me a window of sight into the future. And it also has an emphasis on to pay attention. because it's almost like it knows if I'm not paying attention to a certain element in the vision, because it will turn me around and show it to me again to say, look at this, pay attention to this, and recognize this. This part is important. Look at it again. And if I don't get it the second time, it will show me it a third time before it allows me to go on to see any more. It will stop me in my tracks until I get what it is it wants me to remember and to pick up on. But it takes me there. It takes me on a journey. I don't feel like I'm in my bed anymore. I don't feel like I am present where I am sleeping at the moment. It takes me on a journey like I'm into the future. And it will, like I said, it will take me to the location, and it will play out all in order. Like if I have to go into a structure or into a building, it will take me through the door. I will see the door open, and then I will go from outside and I will proceed inside, and then I will be able to look around inside and nothing skips. And it shows me everything. And then it will take me to where I need to see next. But it does not skip from one scene to the next. I mean, it plays out in its entirety like a movie. And everything makes perfect sense. I get the concept of what it is I'm being shown once I'm showing it. And all my visions except the last two have come true. And when the previous visions were shown to me, they were shown months in advance. Then I forgot about them. Then they came true. And because once I recognized that I was then living out the vision I was shown, I could predict what was going to happen next, because then it all came back to me and I remembered these scenes. It's like I know exactly now what's going to happen. And by God, if it didn't. I told you guys in a video about one of my earlier visions where I met a girl, a woman, that I was supposed to meet. She was in her young 30s, and it took me to the place I was going to meet her at. It showed me what she was wearing, how she was dressed. It showed me what her hair looked like, everything. It showed everything that was going on that night, what took place that night, how her and I ended up talking. And as we introduced ourselves to one another, it even told me her name. And this is the part that was really spooky, because it was only off by 2 letters. It showed me in the vision that her name was Linda, but her actual name was Melinda. And that's what was spooky, is that it actually got her name almost right. It was just missing 2 letters, but in the vision it said Linda. Of all the female names out there that a woman could have as a name, and it had Linda in her name. Instead of it being Linda, it was Melinda. Everything it showed me that she was wearing. The color of her hair, the style of her hair, the length of her hair, how she looked, the color of her eyes, her shoes, where we were that night, how we met, and where we went afterwards. Every single thing that it showed me. This was months in advance, at a place I'd never been to before, in an establishment that I didn't even know existed. It showed me the whole inside of the place and all the people that were there. And then when it unfolded and I ended up going to this place that I'd never been to before, once I walked inside, I knew where everything was, including the bathrooms. Because in the vision, I even went to the bathroom. And it showed me everything inside, the color, the way it was laid out, how it had 3 different floors. There was one back room that was a sunken level. That's where the game room was. Then there was the upper main level. That was the bar. It was a big nightclub is what it was. And then off in the opposite direction was another lower level to where the stage was, and the dance floor where the band was playing. And the band that was playing there that night in the vision was the band that was there playing when I actually went to this place, and this vision unfolded, and I met Melinda. And we did meet. She was a real woman. She was the exact age, height, build, how she was dressed, how she looked, right down to her name. It showed me everything, and this was months in advance.
All right, y'all. So this is going to be an extra clip because we're not going to go too deep into it, because as you can see, he's giving an explanation based off of his experience with one of his visions actually happening and unfolding, him forgetting about it and bringing it back up, and how detailed and descriptive it is. Now, like he said in the beginning, it is strictly based off of how he's experienced a dream versus a vision. And in this case, it's more so him focusing on the aspect of what a dream actually is, like when you're going to sleep and you're dreaming, and then when you actually have a vision, like if you're dreaming and a vision comes to you, and how that happens, and then when you wake up and things start to unfold, so we are going to talk a little bit about what we listened to thus far and kind of tie it into having a vision for your life and having ideas or goals, and tying that into the bigger picture or the bigger vision, right? So he talked about how, like he said, everyone is different. So everyone experiences dreams and visions differently, but they are different, right? So he said when it comes to a dream, they are random. It's not something that's like strategic. It's at any given moment in time. It's like the amount of thoughts that we have in our minds that we process throughout the day. We have hundreds and thousands of thoughts, right? And it's just like once you have one thought, you may kind of think on it for a little bit, and then another thought comes on, and another thought comes on, and multiple thoughts, right? So a dream is more so a thought, and it's something that comes to you. You don't have to go anywhere for it. But also when it comes to a vision, it's like you're traveling to it. You are going to where it wants you to see, that part of your future. So he said that dreams are random. They don't really make much sense. They can be distorted. You can only, like I said, you only see little pictures of the bigger picture. So you don't see everything. It might not make sense at the time, but with time, it'll make more sense, right? So he said, and jumps from one thing to the next. Like I said, ideas, how you might think of one thing and then there's another thing that you think about, and it goes back and forth. Or you might think about this one thing, forget about it, and then later on it might come up again and you're like, oh yeah, I was thinking about that before. When it comes to a vision, it's more strategic, it's more specific, it's clearer. Like he said, it's ultra high definition, right? You can hear clearer, you can see clearer, you can see more of the picture, you can see it for longer periods of time. It's clear and defined, right? So you don't have to guess like, well, what is this supposed to mean? Or I only got a snippet. Like, let's say if you're having a dream about going to a place and you get to like the first half of it and you can't see the other half. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know what this place looks like, and then having a vision is like you get to see the whole street, the place, what's next to it, what's on both sides, what's behind it. So it gives you a clearer picture of where it is that you should go. Also, you have, it, like he said, for him, his vision plays out from the beginning to the end. So he gets all the intricate details. And I would have a suggestion for you all. When you do have a vision, or even when you have a dream, an idea, write it down. And then when you actually have a vision of it that expands that idea, write it down. Because if it's something that you are playing an active role in, and if it's something that you're actually going to fulfill, that you want to fulfill, having it written down to see, oh, look, I wrote this down and everything I wrote down actually happened. Like a vision board. A lot of people have vision boards for the type of futures that they want. This is something I would suggest for you to have, because it actually visualizes for you in a physical manifestation what it is that you want. So if you want a specific house, put that on there. If you want a specific income, put that on there. If you want a certain number of people within your family, whether it's animals, whether it's little people, whether it's a husband, wife, whatever, put that on there. Because once you see it, then, it kind of gets your mind working to actually make it happen. All right. He also talked about how it's like a window of sight into the future is what a vision is. So it really gives you a glimpse of what your life can be if you work at it to get to that point. Nothing is going to be handed to us in this life. For some people, there are certain things that may have been handed down to them. They may have an inheritance, but they still are responsible for maintaining what they have, even if it was given to them. It can be given to you, but it's up to you to keep it and maintain it in the proper way. Also, he talked about how visions can come true. Now, some visions is up to you whether or not you're going to, seek it out, whether you're going to decide on if it happens or not, because it's based off of how much you work and what you're actually putting behind what it is that you see. You can dream and wish all you want, but that without action is just a wish, right? A dream or a goal. I would say a goal without action behind it is more so just a wish. And we don't want to wish. We want to see results. And so being able to live out that vision is something that is necessary. So something that Raul talked about is focusing on the bigger vision. Like a lot of times we get those small ideas, and then we just stay there, or we give up because we don't have enough information. But if we work at it and take time to process everything and make those strategic steps to see the bigger vision, then it'll happen and it'll be shown to us, right? Having a better foundation so that you can innovate and stabilize is also something that Raul shared. And also sharing your vision, having that accountability once you put it out there so that you have no choice but to work at it. Even if you don't feel like it, people are going to be on you, especially if you put it out there and say, listen, I have this to do. I'm doing this, that, and the third. I want this to happen. People are going to hold you accountable, whether you want it to happen or not. So take your dreams seriously, because those dreams can turn into visions with actionable steps, right? And Ryan talked about how dreams are catchy. They're not intentional, but a vision is intentional. There's action behind it. It plays an active role. You use your imagination and the skills that you have to make it happen. He talked about how to identify the specifics of your dream in order to turn it into a vision, in order to fulfill that vision. Aligning your dreams to fulfill your vision. And your vision is accomplishments, your success, your achievements. Those are your visions being carried out, right? And also Evan talked about how vision is the better world that you see. What you see now and what you see later. That later vision, that's the vision, right? That later view, that later focus, that better whatever it is that you see. That's the vision, right? And steps, the goals that you have should be attainable, quantifiable, and should be actionable steps in order to make the goal happen, in order to get that much closer to your vision. And you can start small. It's not something that's like, oh my goodness, I need this, that, and the third, right? So when it comes to an example of somebody accomplishing a vision of theirs, so pick any athlete, right? Let's go with Venus and Serena Williams, okay? Their father had a plan for them before they were born. He wrote out their life. He said, this is what y'all going to be. He trained them up from he started with an idea. He wrote the idea down. He took steps to make sure that they trained every day, 6 days a week, I believe, several hours a day, fought to have someone train them, put them out there, got the necessary equipment, got interviews, got connected with different people, and now they are the first and the best out there in the tennis world. People know who they are by name, but it wasn't just their father that did it, right? He might have had the idea, but it was their vision to become the best and the first to do it, And so them having that accountability through their father, through their siblings, through their parents, through maybe friends that might have known what was going on with them, having actionable steps and actually putting it to work is how their vision came to be. Beyonce, another example. She has always wanted to be a performer, a singer, to be an entertainer on stage, right? When she was younger, all she would do was sing. She was dancing, and her dance instructor is actually the one who realized that she was a talented singer and brought it to her parents' attention. And that's when they got on board and decided to, fulfill that vision. But she had the vision when she was younger. She knew exactly what she wanted to be. Her parents sacrificed a lot for her to get where she is today. Now with her father, he became her manager. He trained her, Kelly, and the other girls of Destiny's Child, the original and after, and the triple threats, right? He trained them, and they would work for hours. They would get up, they would dance for hours, they would perform for hours, they would sing for hours, and they would go to different competitions and they would perform, and they became famous. But it was something that Beyonce saw at a very young age. And a lot of people who have accomplished their vision or are fulfilling their vision in real time is because they seen something at a younger age and they manifested it. So for myself personally, creating Intellect's Artrepreneur Agency was something that I saw when I was a teenager, and I worked at it and I worked at it, and I finally got the business legalized, and I started putting things together. I kept getting different ideas on what to do. That's how Q&A Wednesdays came about, Meeting of the Minds Mondays came about, Freestyle Fridays came about, different art and business seminars came about, the podcast, and so many other things. And all of this is encompassed under Intellects because of an idea that I had when I was younger, and I put the work in, expounded on it, and here we are. So try not to make it so unrealistic. Try not to make it so drawn out, like, I have this dream and I have this idea that I want, but I don't know how to get there. Take small steps. You don't have to know it all right away. Do what you know and build from there. Like I said, you can start with the vision board, get the ideas for every area of your life. How do you want your life to look financially? How do you want it to look emotionally, mentally, physically? How do you want your family to look? How do you want what's health look like to you, right? What kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of car do you want to have? Like, all of these little details, if you put them all together and categorize them, put them on a vision board, and even if you don't make a vision board, that's fine. Write it down and then figure out what is it going to take to make those things happen and take those actionable steps. And that's all there is, right? The difference between a dream and a vision: a dream is an idea, and a vision is that idea acted out in order to fulfill that vision, which is just seeing a better future for yourself. What that looks like, having a window of sight into your future. That's what a vision is. And the dream is just an idea in a smaller picture and an even larger picture frame, right? All right, so that is pretty much all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in, for sharing your thoughts, for supporting. We appreciate you for taking the time out. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here and listen to this message. We definitely want to hear your thoughts on what you think the difference is between a dream and a vision, and how you are manifesting those things in your life personally. All right, so before we close out, a few announcements. Showcase Your Talent Show is tonight, the Juneteenth special. Make sure to tune in. The last showcase post has the Zoom link available and the Zoom information available. So make sure to get that information. If you're interested in registering for next month. It is open. Contestant spots for the grand prize, feature spots if you just want to showcase your art, sponsor spots if you have a product, service, or business that you want to talk about during the show. And of course, we have an open mic for those who just want to come on and share. Also, viewers, we always love to have you, and there's an option for you to register as well if you would like. We are asking for $1 and $2 donations for those who view. So if you are able, we definitely appreciate those who support us in that way. Meeting of the Minds Mondays will be one Monday a month where we focus on anything from art to business itself and everywhere in between. If you want to host or pose the topic, definitely connect with us. Q&A Wednesdays is one Wednesday a month where we pose a question of the month, and that's also the time to ask us anything. If you have any questions that you would like to pose for the month, or if you want to host, connect with us on that level. Freestyle Fridays, we have our open mics every Friday. We're on Battle Art, where you go up against other artists. Whoever has the most votes from the viewers wins and picks the next month's theme. Make sure to tune in next month for the winner of our hero versus villain topic, and you get to go home with some funds as well. We also have our Art of War Art and Business Art of War Art Awareness fundraiser, where we raise awareness for the beauty, necessity, and uniqueness of art, as well as raise funds to come to a place near you to go from virtual to in-person concerts. We also have our featured segments, Fourth Fridays, where we sponsor and spotlighted Artrepreneur doing their thing in the community. But that's not all. We have so much going on. We have books, we have merch, we have promo options, voiceover options. We have our online store up and running, art and business seminars that we've had in the past. If you are interested in featuring, definitely connect with us. Intellect's a Place for Entrepreneurs podcast in season 3. We are not just audio, we are visual. If you're interested in being a feature, definitely connect with us and check out our previous episodes and seasons. We have member fees, and we have so much going on. But if you want to stay up to date on all things Intellects, definitely subscribe to our email list. That's free $99, and our YouTube channel to see all of our content. Well, I'm your host, Intellect, founder and CEO of Intellect's Artrepreneur Agency, the Indeed for Artists. We connect you with so much, from resources to experts and networks and platforms, to promote you so that you can be the best you that you can be in your unique artistry. And we do that to the best of our ability. We want you to remember that you're uniquely designed and one of a kind, so don't let anybody stop your shine. Until next time, y'all, have a great night and an awesome rest of your week.